Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Absolutely Not Podcast. How are you? Hope you're having a gorgeous, glorious day. We are sweating our dicks off here in Atlanta, Georgia, and it feels good though. It's that good heat where you feel like you're in your sauna bag. You're going out to run basic errands. You're going to the bank. You're going to the dry cleaners. You're dropping your kids off at camp, and you get out of the car, and it is a soft, small, one might say, koi pond of just absolute ass sweat in your leather seats. And that means it's summer, baby. So it's a good feeling and a bad feeling. I'm wearing a dress today by Zara. It is absolutely, I believe, a maternity dress, but I don't have to wear a bra. I don't want anything touching my body. I am at that point of the summer. It's only begun. But of course, because of global warming, I'm at the point where it feels like the seventh layer of hell. Like, I don't get off me. Don't touch me. Don't hug me. You can give me a nice thumbs up from across the parking lot, but I don't want anything touching me. I don't want to wear a bra. I'm free balling. I just want to live, laugh, love with nothing touching my body. So that's where I'm at. Went back and just got bullied at my local coffee shop, as I usually do. Tina and I went for a nice walk. We've been working in the office. I said, let's go get a nice coffee. And these fuckers made me gasoline. I mean, it tastes like Worcestershire. And I go back for more. I hate it. I don't like it. Only 2 milk options. I won't go into that whole story because those of y'all who have been here understand. This is the fucking place that only gives me whole milk or oat. Well, guess what? Gonna shit my pants for both. So it is what it is. But other than that, we are fantastic. We are great. We have a lot to catch up on. I was in New York for some events. I went to Chicago for an event. I have been wheeling and dealing. And I'm going to Italy. I am leaving for Italia. I am so excited. Mama has been itching. The back of my throat is getting that allergy scratch, that itch in your throat when your throat itches and you just sound like you're just sucking on a hog. I'm trying to scratch that itch. And I'm trying to scratch it with some homemade limoncello somewhere at beautiful Lake Garda. But if you're in Italy, holler at me, DM me, and just put Italia all in large uppercase, all caps, so I know you're there. We're hitting the Garda, we're hitting Emilia-Romagna, Tuscany, little, Florence. I'm going to Porto Ercole, never been there before, and then hitting Rome and Milano, doing it all. A little bit of work, a little bit of pleasure, and a lot of fucking sweating. We have a lot to discuss. What am I even talking about right now? Oh, dude, okay. I don't know how many of y'all this will reach, touch. I don't know how many of y'all will understand this reference because I know I have pretty wide variety of listeners. But I definitely am feeling the new Charlie XCX album Brat. And I feel like I am in my Brat season. You know what I mean? I'm feeling like being a little bratty. That's also why I'm wearing a dress with no bra, no underwear, because I just feel like being a brat. If a breeze comes by and you see a little cooch, that was on purpose. But if you have not listened to the new Charlie XCX album, it's called Brat, then you are not living your summer club life. And it could be a country club life or it could be nightclubbing life. And this album could not have come out at a better time. Okay, I'm not unfortunately allowed to play any songs for you on the internet because then YouTube will block this. But everybody needs to download the new album by Charlie. It is so good. But all of her songs are just like club songs. And listen, this is a pop girl summer. Chapel Roan, who I'm obsessed with. Pink Pony Club is one of the best songs ever written. Period. Between Chapel and Charlie, and you got Miss Sabrina, and who else? Who else do we have? What's that? What is that other song I like? Oh, Gracie Abrams. Of course, Miss Swift is doing her thing. Billie Eilish. The albums are good. Yes, am I a woman who loves cocktail jazz? I sure do. But do I also love bangers? I sure do. But I am in my Brat season. I might go to an outlet outside of Milan, get a panini and a Coke San Zucchero, which means a Coke Zero, which just means sand sugar. I might do that. I might go buy a discounted Prada bag. I'm in my Brat season. And, I was in New York this weekend at a fabulous speakeasy in the East Village, and I was with my friend Jill and Jen, and we were talking about the difference in different labels for women. Now, this next segment, I think I'm just going to jump right into it, but I'm going to give you guys a heads up. If your kids are in the car, pause this, come back and listen. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to either pause or listen with your headphones on later while you're at the pool and the kids are absolutely drowning. Okay? All right. Okay. Are we back? Is this is adult only zone? This is Adult Swim. Okay? All the kids, get out of the pool. This Adult Swim. Because I want to use some choice language here. We were sitting around, I was with Jill and Jen, and we were having a conversation about the differences in phrases, words that we use to describe each other. Like there is a very big difference between a cunt, a bitch, and a snob. And this album Brat kind of made me think of it. Again, I'm using the word cunt, and I hope that does not offend anybody. If it does, then you're obviously a bitch, which we'll get into. But, you go anywhere over in the UK, you go to Australia, everybody's a cunt. And I think you take the power back. If somebody were to call me a cunt, that does not bother me. I'm like, thank you. Okay, thought you'd never ask. But there is a big difference to me in those words. A cunt is somebody who is powerful. She knows how to read the room. She also kind of does not give a fuck, but is also very kind. Like you can be cunty and also be fun. To me, a snob is somebody like, if somebody would say like, you're being snobby, that just means I have an elevated taste. Now, it does not necessarily mean when you are a snob that you have good taste. You have taste, period. Does not necessarily mean it's good taste. Okay, I've been in a lot of people's homes that have way more money than me, and they're fucking snobby about shit. And I'm like, listen, honey, you put a gingham, a plaid, a madras, and a tassel together, that ain't it. That ain't it. Your living room looks like the inside of an Upton's. And if you don't know what Upton's was, you're too young to be listening to this fucking podcast. So to me, a cunt is powerful. If she's cunty, she's got a nice energy. She'll get into clubs. She'll walk to the front of the line. Doesn't necessarily mean that she has any pull, but she's going to figure it out. A snob, like you can be snobby. There's an act of being snobby. Like some days I'll say, guys, you know what? I'm being snobby right now. Yeah, you're right. I don't want to go to a chain restaurant. I wanted to go to Michelin star. But right now I'm being snobby. But to be a snob in general is like you're not fun. You know what I mean? You can be snobby, but if you're just a snob, you're not fun. And usually snobs don't have good taste. And then there's bitch. Bitch can go 2 ways. Like, it can be positive. You can be like, bitch. You can be like, stupid bitch. Like, if somebody calls me a stupid bitch, I'm like, I'm fucking crushing right now. Like, you are stupid. Bitch, you are so stupid. That, to me, is positive. Bitch, quit being stupid is also still positive. Like, you're being silly. You're being goofy. You're being a little silly goose. You silly little bitch. But if somebody just says, like, you're a bitch, that's negative. Hard negative. That is a full stop. No one likes being around you. Like, it would hurt me way more if somebody was like, Heather's a cunt. I'd be like, yeah, because I'm owning my space. I'm leaning in, said Sheryl Sandberg. You know what I mean? If I'm being a cunt, it's because my name's on the marquee. If I'm being a bitch, I'm being difficult to deal with and not nice and usually probably in the wrong. So bitch can go 2 ways. If you're being a bitch, you're being nasty. But if you're being a stupid bitch, you're fucking fantastic. Guys, I know you're probably like, Heather, we didn't ask for this Venn diagram, this brainstorm session with you and your dumb fucking friends. But I just wanted to say that this is something that's been weighing on me. And as I was driving to the studio today, listening to Charlie's song, Brat, or her new album, Brat, I was just in the zone, feeling like I was back in a nightclub. I used to go to nightclubs in Atlanta when I was in high school. We used to go to this one nightclub. I think it was called like Illusions. No, that was a strip club. I'll ask my friend Cammie. I'll text her and ask her what the name of the fucking club was because I'd go with her. My girlfriend Cammie Miller, who owns Moo Moo. She and I would go nightclubbing. Cammie, I hope I'm not getting you in trouble for saying this. We would go nightclubbing. We were 16, but she and I both were very tall and developed for our grade. Like we both had big jugs and we were very tall, so no one ever questioned. So when we were 16, we were little cunts. We would run into the club, and I remember Wesley Snipes was always at this one club that we'd go to. Always. We were 16, just got our driver's license, and people thought we were like 35-year-old women, just cunty business owners coming in for like a quick Cosmo after a long day at the office. But we would go nightclubbing. And now I know that if I was back, I haven't been in a nightclub, like a real nightclub in a minute. But I'm feeling like when I go to Italy, I'm going to hit that Euro nightclub scene. I might go to a discotheque. And if you ever studied abroad in Florence, Italy, everybody knows Bebop. Everybody knows Central Park. No, I'm not talking about the iconic actual park in New York. I'm talking about Central Park, which was on the outskirts of Florence, Italy, where everyone absolutely had their lives endangered. But anyways, I was just thinking that I got into like an hour discussion with my girlfriends about the difference between bitch, cunt, stupid bitch, brat, and snob. You know, you can be snobby and it's okay. But if you're just a snob, you're a stick in the fucking mud. You can be bratty, but a brat to me is always fun. You know, how many times have I called Ray, like, Ray, you're being a brat? He's like, okay, yeah, you're right. You know, just like complaining a little bit, but has good intentions. That's a brat. And you can be in your bratty area. Your area? I'm sorry, I meant to say era. You can be in your brat era. I think all of us women need to get a little bratty this summer. You know what I mean? Look at me right now. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm not wearing sleeves. I'm living on the fucking edge. I have no panties on. And you know what? I'm raw dogging because I just started my period. No, I'm kidding. No, I do have a thong on. I have a Skims thong on. Shout out to Skims. But I did start menstruating for the first time in like 9 months. And for those of you who are listening who are like, why are you telling us this? I just want you to know I'm feeling a little extra femme. I'm feeling like I'm on the prowl a little bit because I'm on this birth control that never gives me a period, which is, I mean, listen, that's a blessing. And Heather, why are you on it? I have to stay on it so I don't have an ovarian cyst rupture. Go back and listen to Ovaries on an Airplane from, I believe, November 2019. Probably my most iconic episode of this podcast to date, if you've never listened to it. And if you're new here, okay? But I'm feeling bratty. I have such thin spaghetti straps on this dress right now. At any point, they could snap, and two titties would come flying out. I don't have my arms covered on video. Like, that's so not me. I'm usually cover the arms. Ugh, I hate them. No, I don't give a fuck. I'm in my brat era. I'm going to go stop at the gas station on the way home. I'm going to get a Snapple Arnold Palmer diet because I'm watching my weight. I'm going to get a long Capri cigarette. And I'm going to get some thin, where are my Gucci sunglasses? Hold on. They're on the chair? Hold on. I got them. Hold on. Okay. We'll make a note at around 15 minutes. We'll have to tighten it up for this. Okay. I just put my Gucci sunglasses on. And I did buy these, and they are absolutely too big for my face. And I will say, when I went back to the Gucci store, I bought them for my birthday. It's dumb to buy accessories from fancy stores like this. They are too big for my face. I said, hey, can you guys tighten them up? And you know what they said? They said, go to Sunglass Hut. So I went into the Sunglass Hut on Broadway in Soho this weekend, and they were like, Gucci sent you here? And I was like, yeah, can you guys please tighten these up? And they were like, yeah, we fucking hate the people who work at Gucci. And I go, yeah, I get it. I can tell there's a riff in between the two brands. But I am feeling bratty. I am going to cruise home later. You know what I mean? Lightly crack the windows, have a thin Capri cigarette, drink out of my Stanley cup, and blast a little Charlie XCX. You know what I mean? Vroom, vroom, bitches. And I've got hair extensions that kind of are getting caught in my armpits because I'm not wearing sleeves. And I just feel like being a bad girl. I'm on my period. It is light. You know what I mean? I got a slim tampon in, and I am really, really feeling myself. I was excited to get my period because it's so light. It'll last 24 hours. It's just like a little punch in the crotch, and then it's gone. It's like a whew, you know what I mean? A little pops up, pops out. I don't feel bad. I'm actually quite energized because I had this shitty iced coffee from down the street. It does do its job, even though I hate everyone that works there. But here I am. You know what I mean? I'm live, laugh, loving, and I'm in my Brat season. So Charlie XCX, if you see this, I just want you to know, thank you. Hold on, let me put my Gucci's back on. Hey, Charlie XCX, thank you so much for bringing Brat season to this season. Okay? I'm feeling it. All right, enough. Y'all are like, what the fuck are you even talking about, Heather? All right, what's going on? Oh, want to give a big shout out to Delta Airlines, who's just, one best airline again. But I noticed something as I was getting on my flight home from New York. They have new advertising when you're on the jet bridge. So you're walking from the gate onto the airplane, and they do the best job of advertising. It's like a gorgeous Asian woman cooking a meal. She's clearly somewhere in like Tokyo cooking a meal with her family, and it's like, Delta, we'll take you home. Why would she want to go to a hibachi restaurant somewhere in Missouri when she could be home? She could fly a Delta jet all the way home to see her family and cook with grandma. Beautiful thing. And so I noticed that, and I love, they have so much diversity, and I'm just like, they do such a good job. Like, everybody who is running Delta marketing and advertising just crushes it. I already love the product. I love the people, period. I'm Delta loyal till I die. And out of the corner of my left eye, I see a more a curvier, more curvaceous gal. And I go, look at that. I love to see people who look like me in ads. And she's with they're hiking, you know what I mean? It looks like they're somewhere in Utah and they're hiking. And I'm looking at the gentleman that she's with. He too is, a larger man. They are, look at them. Two big gals out in the woods, but also showing that you can be active and don't have to be a size 2. Because I know that is such a thing that's misunderstood. It's like, just because I'm a size 14 doesn't mean I'm not in great health. My health has been crumbling, but it has nothing to do with my weight. But then I looked a little closer and I realized that the woman in the Delta ad also was missing an arm. She just had a nub. And I said, not only did they slip that in so quickly, and I squealed. I literally went, will you look at that? I said, will you look at that? And Jeff and I were looking at each other. I said, you know what, Jeff? It's like me and you. I'm so glad to see a representation of two thick girls just walking in the woods. And he said, look at that. She's missing a hand. So I just want Delta Airlines to know, I see you, and I appreciate what you did. Here she is. Not only is she a bigger gal, but she's also handy capable. You know what I mean? I like what they did there. You do have to laugh at some of these advertisements, though. You're just like, any of these brands, especially like it's Pride Month. I was walking through Soho, and there was like 6 furniture stores in Soho that had Pride flags outside. I'm like, you're selling a chaise lounge. You're selling futons. We get it. They're like, come be gay on our futon. You know what I mean? Come have a raging orgy. Happy Pride on our chaise lounge. Like, relax rooms to go. Okay, thank you. We get it. We get it. Gay people shop here. Like, a little too much. But I saw what Delta did there on that jet bridge. And it tickled me pink. I said, would you look at that? Would you look at that? Am I going to have to cut that? Is that too bad that I'm talking about the woman I'm talking about the woman without the arm on the jet bridge?
What are you saying about it?
I'm saying that it was nice to see representation of a thick girl and that their advertising team's doing a great job, but also that I love that she was armless.
Yeah, that's fine. Right?
I said,
didn't hear anything bad.
Okay. All right. We're at, also make a note at 20:58, just that I panic.
Listen, we can ask, Emily is the Gen Z.
Emily is a Gen Z. Emily, if you watch this,
Let us know if that's too.
let us know.
Because I was watching the Belmont thing.
Okay. What else is going on? Had a great time in New York. Went to Chicago for a little corporate gig. Shout out to my girlies there. That got to keep that one private. I was doing a corporate gig for Pornhub, is what I was doing, and I didn't want to tell you guys, but I did. So fun meeting all those girls. Really, it's really run by a powerhouse of women. So shout out to Pornhub. What else? Went to New York, was bebopping around, saw the Broadway. Just did the most. When the weather is nice in New York, it's perfect. And then on Thursday, it was so fucking hot. Everybody just had an upset tummy. I don't know what happened, but everybody around me, we didn't even eat at the same restaurants. It hit 85 degrees and everybody was shitting themselves. So it got, it turns. And I don't know what's going on in New York, and I'm not here to be like, well, the homeless people are really sketchy, but I saw multiple fights. And listen, I know there's mental health stuff, so I'm not making fun of anybody who's displaced. That's not what I'm saying. But it was wild. It was like that heat got turned up. Wednesday night was perfect weather. Thursday morning came around and it got hot. And people on the streets were feral. I was dodging fights. I got called every name in the book just trying to go to an Old Navy, that Old Navy on 6. Like, it was wild. You really had to gird your loins hitting the mean streets of New York. And I have a friend who's a psychologist. She was like, oh no, like actually, did you know that in the summer when the heat turns up, that's like the highest levels of crime across the board. Like it's something about that summer heat just makes people a little fucking crazy. And I don't know if it's where the moon and the stars all set together, but when it's like 87 degrees and it's 10 p.m. at night, you just kind of fucking sit outside of a bodega. Whether you work on Wall Street or you've been living in the park and everybody's just getting a little too foamy at the mouth and getting a little fucking cuckoo. And that's what I love. It kept you on your toes. But definitely just want to give everybody a heads up in New York. Just keep, mind your P's and Q's because the temperature is only going to raise as we go through August. And everyone was losing their mind. I had a man yell at me at the corner of 23rd and 5th. Oh, she wishes she was a lesbian. And I was like, yeah, sure. Like, I don't know if it was directed towards me or a lovely older woman who was walking a Bichon Frise next to me. But this man was screaming at us, oh, she wishes she was a lesbian. And I was like, yeah, probably. I've said that many times. Once I'm done with Jeff, I'm done. Lock it up. I am done. Yeah, what else is going on? Went to the Las Culturistas award show. Shout out to Matt and Bowen. So fun. Did that on Saturday. Hopefully they bring me on their podcast. It was really funny to be at a podcast award show for a podcast I've never been asked to be on. And that's no hate or shade to them. I said that on stage. And Matt was like, oh, of course we'll have you on. But it was so great to see everybody. I was backstage with Julia Fox. I didn't even say hi. I chickened out, which was so stupid. Can I tell you, Julia Fox is so fucking drop dead gorgeous. She is stunning in real life. Like, that is somebody who I actually kind of fanned out on. And I sat next to, I think I said this on the podcast the other day. I sat next to Lana Del Rey at a bar and she ordered a Shirley Temple and she is stunning. Talk about summertime sadness. Talk about summertime hotness. Lana Del Rey. Stunning in person. Stunning. Truly like ethereal, like an angel that just kind of, she didn't even walk into the bar. She just kind of hovered. I was like, wow. Oh yeah. God, it is so fucking hot right now underneath these lights. Hold on. I got to take this iced coffee and put it in between my legs. Give me 1 second. Oh, actually that feels nice. It's hot. You don't understand. This studio gets hot. I'm under lights. You know what I mean? I'm trying to make sure that I keep my neck right so I don't look fat as a fucking house. It's like we go through these fucking social media clips and every time the camera is right underneath my neck. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I got to get it done, guys. I'm doing it. I'll tell you about it later. Just support me on this, okay? I don't want somebody to say, you don't need your neck done. I need my fucking neck done. Just support me. Just say you're going to look great. Just support me on this. Wow, I am hot. See, I'm getting feral. I told you everybody in New York was feral. I'm getting feral in the studio. It is that point. The summer is turning where it doesn't necessarily cool down at night, where it's still hot hellfire till about 9 p.m. 10 o'clock, you can sit on the porch and have a glass of wine. But 9 p.m. last night, my dogs were barking. Everything's starting to swell. You might as well take off your rings right now, lock them in the safe because you're not putting those bad boys on till October. It is fucking swell season. It's Brat season and it's swell season. Get out the compression shorts and the magnesium spray. Did I say compression shorts? Compression socks and compression shorts. I was going through my checklist of things that I need for Italy, and I'm like, anti-thigh chafing shorts. Fucking kill me. And I got small legs, but that's how hot it's going to get. I don't understand people. Like, I don't sweat from my armpits, but man, do I sweat through the crotch. Heavy. You know, flows light, but coochie's still wet. And I don't know what that says. Really sound like a sociopath today on this podcast. Don't know why, but I do. Okay, let's see. Let's see what else is going on. I went up to the horse races at Saratoga and about 2 weekends ago for the race, the Belmont Stakes. And let me tell you what, we had so much fun. Very cool to be a part of, very cool to see. And I'm going to tell you right now, any women who are single, find yourself a rich horse zaddy. There was something very sexual about watching these men that you know that are just loaded with money, you know, gently stroking the side of a horse. There was something paternal about it. My ovaries were aching a little bit. You know, it was like a proud papa moment for some of these very rich men from Kentucky, and it got me hot and horny. So I'm just saying, if you know, single gals call into the podcast all the time, where do we find guys? Go to a horse race. Okay, I think the Breeders' Cup is coming up in November, and that's like the Masters of horse racing. Go there in Del Mar, California. A lot of rich zaddies there. Everyone's dressed to the nines. People are getting inebriated. It's like the perfect mixture of like pheromones, dirty money, clean money, sluts, and just animals. It's hot. It's very hot. It gave me Game of Thrones vibes, but in like also a positive way. So that was fun. We had a really nice time. Saratoga, very cute. Very cute. Loved it. Also loved the fact that we went to this one restaurant and they had my photo printed out at the hostess stand, which was chef's kiss. You know, and shout out to our friends at the restaurant who got us a reservation. 15 Church or 51 Church? 15 Church. Shout out to 15 Church in Saratoga. Phenomenal food, phenomenal hospitality. And I loved walking out of that restaurant and seeing my little headshot printed out at the hostess stand. Fucking LOL. Loved it. Absolutely flawless. And yeah, Saratoga is just a great area. It's a cool little town, great people. You know, it's been nice. I really thought I panicked the first week home and I had a full spiral on this podcast. I know, I apologize about that. But now being home and like knowing that I'm working on other stuff and we're moving in the right direction has been very exciting. So I needed that first week to really shake off the cobwebs, have a full-blown absolute panic attack, existential crisis, what is my life? And now I'm like, no. It has been nice to have a little time off. And that's what happens when you're a workaholic. When you're a workaholic, you don't know how to say no. But I am in my Brat season. Let me put my sunglasses back on. I am being a Brat. Okay? I'm going to be drinking so much white wine in Italy. I'm going to be bringing you such hot fire hungover content. I'm going to be eating so many refined carbs. So much pure dairy. I cannot wait. I needed this. I needed to live, laugh, fucking love. You know, if you get hot, you take something cold like a piece of ice and you put it either in between your legs, on your wrists. That's how you cool yourself off. Anybody from the South knows the way to cool off your twat is to put a little piece of ice on the wrist. I just heard a woman in the hall in this office space that we share. She just said, well, if you ain't good at it. Wait, what did she say? Well, if you ain't good, be good at it. And I don't know if that was a sexual reference, but if that ain't the best thing I've fucking heard all day. Honey, if you ain't good, be good at it. You know what I mean? I don't know what it means, but I felt a connection to that. You know? Like, figure it out. If you ain't good, if you ain't thin, I don't know, just suck dick. It's kind of what I felt like that message said. If you ain't a pretty girl, figure out how to use your mouth. Like, I don't know what that phrase means. If you ain't good, be good at it. Like, I don't know if you're not, Okay, places that would not apply to. Being an attorney. If you're not a good attorney, at least be good at it. Maybe that's a moral thing. Like if you're not good, if you're a bad girl, at least be bad at it. Be good at it. I don't know. Let's look that up.
Be good or be good at it.
Yeah, if you ain't good, at least be good at it. If you ain't good, at least be good at it. What is that? I'm getting nothing. I am getting a quote from Talladega Nights. If you ain't first, you're last. And I do agree with that. If you're not first, you're last. And we know that. You and I both know that. And not that I want to tell your kids that, but you might want to tell your kids that. If you're not first, you're last. I'm just saying. It is what it is. All right. Anyways, if you're not good, be good at it. And I will figure out that'll come to me in the middle of the night. Like it's probably very obvious what it's about, but it's going to come to me in the middle of the night. Like I'm going to figure out exactly what that means. To me, it sounds sexual. Okay, let's get into the voicemails. If you're new here, you can always call in 800-213-7503. It's the Absolutely Not line. We talk about things that are absolutely nuts. Also, I've been doing this podcast for so long, it's really just a place for y'all to just gossip and bitch with me. You don't even have to have a purpose or a point to your fucking voicemail, but we're going to get into it. Again, 800-213-7503. Let's get to the first voicemail.
Hi, Heather. This is Lee from Alexandria, Virginia. I'm
What
a
up, Lee?
long-time listener, but a first-time caller. And I'm 35 years old, and I just left urgent care with pink eye.
Oh.
Let's take it back for a minute. Back in January, my husband tore his hernia and had to have surgery.
Okay.
And because of this very serious surgery, my mother-in-law came to stay with us for 13 nights.
Too long.
During this time, my toddler also was going through a sleep regression.
Oof.
It was a wonderful month, but my sweet husband realized that I needed a spa day. And as a teacher, I decided to wait until the end of the school year, current day, to book a day of relaxation. So let's go back to pink eye. Absolutely not. That's disgusting. But over the weekend, my girlfriend Caitlin hosted the most amazing hibachi night at her home, and she had a hibachi chef come to her house, and lots of sake was had. Somehow, Caitlin gets the super soaker full of sake and doesn't realize how powerful it was and sprayed it all in my face and in my eyes, and now I have pink eye. And, of course, tomorrow is my spa day, the day because of the hernia, and I have pink eye. And so I have to cancel, right? I can't go get a facial with pink eye.
Oh, yeah, no.
That would just be really gross and mean. So, cheers. I don't know what to do, but this is clearly a very privileged thing to complain about. But
Yes.
would love your take on being super soaked. Love and light. Love you so much. Bye.
I am glad that you called in for this specific pink eye resolution. I'm going to tell you this right now, though, Lee. I feel like you could have left out 90% of the details. You could have just said, hey, got hit in the eye with the sake super soaker, and I got pink eye. Do I go to my spa appointment or not? You already know you're not going to the spa appointment, because if she even so much as rubs one eye, it's traveling to the other, and then you're going to have double pink eye. And then you're going to look like Bob Costas when he was doing the interviews at the Sochi Olympics. We all know the Russians poisoned him, but, that's here nor there. What are we going to do about it? Cannot wait for the Olympics, speaking of that. Now, I do love that you gave us the very specific details that your husband had a hernia, the mother-in-law came to stay. I already know that's a point of contempt in the marriage. That's why you get to use a spa day. All right, great. But we could have streamlined this. And I bet you're a great teacher. I don't know what grade you teach, but I guarantee those kids, I bet you crush story time. Even if they're 18 and you're teaching AP Chem, I know that your students are enthralled with everything that comes out of your mouth. But I also think you're blaming the sake. I don't necessarily know if it's the sake's fault. I really don't think so. Yeah, I love when you get the super soaker and listen, every hibachi situation, and I've been through this before, but every hibachi restaurant is a little sexual. There's a massive sexual undertones around that hot grill. I love hibachi humor. I love when the chef, pops that spatula and a little bit of egg goes right between my titties. I see it coming a mile away. Because as soon as I walk into a hibachi grill with double D's, they sit me front row and center. And I'm like, I'm here for the show. I'm an entertainer as much as they're an entertainer. And I act surprised every time. When they throw that shrimp and it hits the little dingle dongle in the back of my throat, and you choke on it for a split second, you wink at the hibachi chef, and they say something wildly inappropriate because there's always kids. I go to a hibachi sometimes solo. It's just me and like 10 campers who just got out of basketball camp. Just 10 sweaty young guys. And it's just me being like, I love the chicken teriyaki. I love hibachi. I did it for my birthday last year. So much fun. We had a hibachi grill come to the house. You know what I love? In-home hibachi. But I love being at a hibachi grill, and they make it sexual. I love when they have the little volcano full of onion rings, right? It's those slices of onion, and then they pour a little rubbing alcohol in the middle, set that bad boy on fire, and they choo-choo train that thing all the way around the grill. I love it. Talk about the Oriental Express. You know what I mean? We're fucking staying on brand. We're doing hibachi. I love it. Oh my God. They throw seafood in the back of the throat. They throw an egg between the tits. They always ask, do you want extra yum yum sauce with a wink and a nudge? And I go, honey, hit me with it. I love it. And because I play along in hibachi, I always get some extra filet mignon. Like I'll go in and just do the teriyaki chicken, and I always end up with at least upwards of 5 pieces of filet mignon. Listen, I'm there. It's consensual. All right. When I go into a hibachi restaurant as a big-titted blonde woman, I already know I got to play along, but I love it. I'll sometimes go there just if I felt like I haven't had enough attention at home. Would I ever cheat on Jeff? No. Would I flirt heavily with a hibachi chef? I sure would. Would I let them throw their loose chunks of meat right on my body? I do. At least every 3 months. I love that attention. If you're a big-titted blonde girl, if you just got big jugs, period, and you show up in a thin tank top to a Benihana, shit's gonna get wild. It really is. But now let's get back to your pink eye. I could see how you might get pink eye because sake is a fermented rice drink. It's a rice wine. Anytime you're getting anything fermented, which is any sort of alcohol, it does have, I would assume, some sort of bacteria, right? And fermentation's good. That's how alcohol, it's fermented sugar. And grapes and, whatever. That's how we make alcohol. But so there is a level of bacteria that I'm sure it's a little fungal got in the eye. But do not go to that spa. Do not go get the facial. You can wait another week. You already said in this story that you've waited like a year and a half to use a spa appointment. Go ahead and get some drops. Go to an urgent care tomorrow. Do not show up to that spa, because I'll tell you what would happen. This would be my luck. I'd go into the spa right after you. And then I ended up with double pink eye before my trip to Italy. And you know what? I would somehow know it was you, Lee. I'd be on that flight with itchy corneas going, God damn it. I had a feeling some bitch named Lee, some bitch. You see how I said bitch? I didn't say some cunt. I said some bitch named Lee. Some bitch named Lee had showed up with one pink eye and destroyed the whole spa. And here I was just trying to get a nice scrub down so that my suntan while I'm at Lake Garda would really hit. Think outside yourself, Lee. Think about the other women who are trying to go to the spa to get away from their kids and their families. You know what they don't want to end up with before they go on their vacation of 30A? Double pink eye. That's a real, talk about a bitchy thing to do. Okay? Talk about a bitchy thing to do. And you know what we don't like? Bitches. You can be a stupid bitch. Honey, if you showed up with an eye patch and a pack of antibiotics and went and got a massage, I'd say, you're being a silly little bitch, Lee, and I love it. I love it. You know, maybe don't put your face in the hole. Maybe bring your own towel. I'd be down for that. But obviously, you can't get a facial with pink eye. I mean, did we learn nothing from the pandemic? Did we learn nothing, Lee? You're an educator. You know better. Okay? Unbelievable. The caucasity of that phone call. Get your life right. Let's get to the next voicemail.
Hey, Heather, it's Keelan. I'm 24. I live in D.C., and I go to law school. I have a big, fat, absolutely not for you.
Okay.
I just found out by logging on to my health insurance that my dad got remarried without telling me, my mom, his ex-wife, or any of my sisters. To put the cherry on top, he got married to the woman that he cheated on my mother with.
Oh, God.
And left us for. Like, we caught him, he packed his shit, and he was gone and filed for divorce. I could probably leave a 50-minute voice mail about the whole situation, but yeah, absolutely not to having a shitty relationship with your father and it being even worse by him getting remarried, not telling you, to the woman that he cheated on your mother with, who I fucking hate.
Yeah, I hate her too.
Anywho, thanks. Love you. I mean it. Tiramisu, bitch.
Tiramisu, bitch. Honey, I am so sorry. What a way to find out, though, that the marriage happened by just trying to log in to see if you could sign up for find out who your local covered dermatologist is. You're like, I want to do a quick mole check. Let me log into the family plan. And then you see that dear old dad got married. Okay. Also, I know that this is a sensitive subject because Father's Day was last weekend. And, listen, your dad doesn't just have to be dead for it to be a rough Father's Day. You could also not have a great relationship with your dad. And clearly things for you, my friend, are still fresh. And I don't blame you. Men will be fucking men. Men are idiots. Here's what my mom always said. And I'm grateful that my mom and dad had a great relationship. But my mom used to always say, she's like, Heather, I used to tell your father, if you ever think that the other woman, like if another woman isn't also going to want the private school and the country club membership and the big house, then you got another fucking thing coming. And my dad would always say that. He was like, these guys that end up in these affairs, the other women are going to want the same shit. You know what I mean? So work out the one you got. I mean, hence, this bitch wants the health insurance. She's juggling your dad's balls to get a PPO, to get a HMO. I don't know how any of insurance works, but I always know you get to the counter and they go, you got a PPO or an HMO? And I go, none of your fucking business. Have you heard of HIPAA? And they're like, no, ma'am, that's the program that you have. That's whatever you signed up for on your insurance. And I go, yeah, okay, Linda, don't believe you. And then they're like, ma'am, can we just see your insurance card? And I go, here. And then they're like, go take a seat. We'll make a copy. It'll be a $75 copay. And I go, yeah, I bet it will be. Listen, not to make it about me and my insurance scams, but I'm stressed out for you. That's tough. That's tough. And I'm not saying women aren't innocent, okay? I'm not saying that. Plenty of people walk out on their husbands and cheat the same way. But it is a wild, I would say it's probably a wild statistic if we looked at how many guys walk out. And listen, you're in a weird spot. Now you're probably stepping into a role. You're kind of pinned between your mom and your dad, even though obviously you're not talking to your dad because you're absolutely furious with him. I don't blame you. But also you'll probably step into a little bit of a husband role for your mom. Nobody ever tells you that. Like when my dad died, I was like, I never thought that I'd like end up kind of as my mom's second husband in like a weird way. You know what I mean? I got to take this woman on a date night once a week or she'll be standing over me while I sleep, just yelling at me like, Heather, how do I turn on the iPad? At least I know if I take her out to a nice restaurant every Wednesday, I'll feed her enough wine to knock her out. Robin will fall asleep like a toddler coming back from a swim meet in just the back of the car, and Jeff and I carry her little frail body up to her nice California king bed, tuck her into the sheets, give her a little nap, a little tissue because she always wakes up with a runny nose, and she's lights out. That buys me at least 12 hours. So, that dynamic's going to change. Nobody tells you. Either when your parents get divorced or somebody dies and a parent dies, nobody tells you how the dynamic between you and whichever parent is left or whichever parent whose side you're on changes. You are now, that parent kind of comes to you in a different way. And again, said this a million times, but we're kind of in those weird sandwich years. We're at the age now where we're taking care of our own families, but we're also kind of like taking care of our parents. And it's tough. You know what I mean? And we're all adults now, so we now see our parents for not these perfect people. And not that, nobody's perfect. But definitely, we're at that age where we're like, oh, I see all the fucked up shit my parents either put me through or the things that they didn't fix in their lives, or I'm making note of things that I want to make sure I don't do with my kids. And listen, I feel richly blessed. I feel like I grew up with amazing parents. But Robin is, breathing down my neck. But I love her. I love her. But it's tough. I mean, nobody tells you that you have a new responsibility. And when that relationship shifts, it's gnarly. But yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the fact that you found out that your dad married this woman. I hate her. I hate her so much. Okay, how can we fuck with this woman? How can we fuck? Ugh. Listen, I said this about a year ago. The way to really, they're already married, so she already knows. But if there's any young gals who are listening right now who find out that their dads are dating somebody that you don't like, you let them think that your dad has no money. I don't want to be redundant. I don't want to repeat myself on this podcast, but I'll just say very quickly, you play nice, you go to dinner with the new girlfriend, and then when dad gets up to go to the bathroom, you slide in your credit card and go, listen, I don't want my dad to be embarrassed. I'll cover the meal. And the girlfriend will be like, that's so sweet. And you're like, no, my dad's has been in a 10-year audit with the IRS. He has no money. And then when they're like, wait, what? You're like, oh my God, my dad didn't tell you? No, he's dead broke. I've been paying all of his bills. And, then that's how you get rid of the girlfriend. That's how you get rid of the girlfriend. Unfortunately, you're in a situation where he already married the broad. You know what I mean? And look, just like my mom said, do men think that the other women aren't also going to want the health insurance? This bitch swooped in and got an insurance card. She got that Blue Cross Blue Shield real quick. She's like, I want my dental care coverage. I'm going to suck your dick. Unbelievable. So if they don't want the country club membership, if they don't want the kids going to private school, they're going to come for the insurance. What else is she coming for? I will say, what you can do to defend yourself is you sit down and you have a conversation with your dad. Be like, Dad, we're not seeing eye to eye because obviously what happened with Mom, but you need to make me a promise or I will actually never speak to you again. You need to make sure that there is a living will and or trust, whether he has $3 to his name or $3 million, that that you will be leaving money to, me and my sibling and I, whomever. It's one thing that you fucked over Mom, but you're not going to fuck us over. Literally sit down and make a business deal. Have a business plan. Be like, I don't want to look at your face for Thanksgiving, but I'm going to make sure that this broad, this new home wrecker isn't getting all of my monies. When you eventually have a heart attack because you think you're young and spry and doing too much sex with this woman that you met at a Lifetime Fitness. You think it's hot now. Wait till she robs you blind, Rick. This really truly is like men can't be alone. And again, I'm not trying to shit on him. In this am I shitting on your dad? I am, because I'm upset. I'm angry for you. I'm angry for your mom. I'm heartbroken for your mom. I'm heartbroken for you. You didn't sign up for this. But men will be fucking men. Any of my friends whose parents, they either got divorced or the fathers passed away or the mothers passed away. The dads end up getting remarried or booed up very quickly. Because men need to be taken care of. Women, we're out here fucking solo doloing. You know what's a perfect day for me? To get up, not have anybody up my ass. Maybe go to a Home Goods. Go to Target and just be in a Target so long that security is following me because they think I've robbed the place. Go for a nice lunch somewhere and get a Cobb salad, a side of fries, and a glass of white wine. Then leave my car there because I'm too drunk to drive home and have an Uber XL pick me up. And then I say, you know what? While I got this big Tahoe, this black Escalade driving me around, I'm going to add a stop and let's go pick up one of my other girlfriends who also has nobody up their ass. And she and I are going to, I don't know, go to a strip club or go to Hibachi and get a little attention. Men need someone to constantly take care of them, take care of their shit. Women, we've always been a little more independent. We have. And then I'm saying you don't need companionship. I'm not saying you don't need love. I love Jeff more than anything in the entire world. But would I be open to putting up with another man? Sure wouldn't be. I would be in no rush because I would be mourning Jeff, who I love very much. But yeah, all my girlfriends, I remember when either it was a divorce or a death. That was always the hardest thing. They're like, wow, it's been 4 months and my dad's already booed up. And I don't know what it is. I'd love for somebody to do a study of the psychology of this shit, but it is unnerving. And I'm frustrated for you. And in this situation, it was an infidelity situation. And I am so incredibly frustrated for you. Are people perfect? No. Do I think people can change? Kind of. But I think what you do in this moment, you put your business hat on. You take all that anger and that sadness and that heartbreak and you turn it into a business plan. Okay? All right? You be a business fucking brat. If we're going to be a brat is a smart girl. If it's a summer of being brats, you're going to be a fucking brat. You're not going to show any emotion. You're going to go, Dad, can we sit down? I'd really like to talk. You do not tell him. Maybe you tell him, maybe you don't tell him that you know that he's married. You say, Dad, I'm going to tell you this right now. Real quiet, gentle. Dad, maybe you say that. Dad, I know you've married Linda. And I just want to make sure that, myself and my sister are going to be okay. So what I would like to do, and you slip attorney paperwork across the table. I'd like to know that, our money will be left in a trust so we don't also get fucked over. Okay? Thank you. And he'll be like, what? Huh? And then you got to outsmart him. And he's going to throw the line, listen, if you got to know her, you'd really love her. And you're like, I would love to hit her with my car, but I'm not going to do that. And then you say, allegedly, really loud. As long as you say allegedly, you're off the hook. And you get some terrifying attorney. Dude, you don't even need a real attorney, right? You're just scaring your dad a little bit. Find some bodybuilder on Craigslist and just put him in a suit that's too tight and just be like, my attorney's in the car. And go rent a black Cadillac for the afternoon, like an old Lincoln Town car. And find like a 60-year-old bodybuilder and that'll spook the shit out of your dad. That will spook the shit out of him. Okay. Let's get into some more voicemails.
Hey, Heather, longtime listener, first-time caller, and I'm going to remain anonymous for the sake of not only my sanity, but also the very, odd chance that my in-laws listen to you. I've wanted to call you 1,000 times over things my in-laws have done, but I've always held myself back. But after this weekend, I just had to call you to tell you. So me and my husband, we have a 5-month-old who's breastfed, and we take him over to my in-laws to celebrate Father's Day. And we're all sitting outside talking, forcing awkward conversations like you do with your in-laws.
Mm-hmm.
And my son gets hungry, so I go to take him inside to feed him. Well, they only have 2 bedrooms in their house. So I go to the guest bedroom, and I open the door, and the bed is completely unmade, and there's a gigantic, the biggest bottle of lube I've ever seen just in the middle of the bed. So I'm totally disgusted, but I'm not surprised because that's just how they are. They have sex toys all over their bathroom. Like, they're just nasty. And so I'm like, well, maybe this is the wrong room. So I go to open the other bedroom door, and that was, in fact, their bedroom. So then I'm stuck with, well, where do I go feed my baby? And I can't feed them anywhere else in their house because their laundry room, which is connected to the kitchen, they keep their nasty, yappy little dog in there, and they don't let him outside because they're afraid he's going to get swooped up by an owl or something. And so he just pisses and poops everywhere, and it's just disgusting. So absolutely not to having in-laws invite the whole entire family over, but refusing to clean their house, and me, their daughter-in-law, being forced to feed my innocent little baby on the bed that they've recently fucked in that has a gigantic bottle of lube in it. Heather, I really hope you get this voicemail. I adore you, and thank you for being the queen that you are. Love and light, and come back to Oklahoma soon. Thanks, girl.
Okay, I love that we know you're from Oklahoma because only this would happen in Oklahoma. First of all, it is always wild to me when you invite somebody over for a specific holiday and then you don't even clean up the dirty thongs on the floor. I mean, have some decorum. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. If I was a mother-in-law and I knew my daughter-in-law was coming over very freshly postpartum, I'd have ordered a new fucking couch or something. I would have had a nice little swivel chair in the main bedroom. Honey, go sit over there. I got a nice Yeti cooler packed with some snacks and some cool drinks for you while you feed. Oh, I already bought you a pump. I have a pump here. You didn't want to, no, don't messy your pump at home. I'll clean out this pump. I got you a pump. Like whatever. I don't know. Whatever you need. I'd have a little station for you with snacks and little trinkets that say, don't forget, I'm the best mother-in-law. Like I would just be the fucking best. Instead, they can't even clean up their crime scene. That's insane. That's another level of like, that is just fucking weird. And I think it's a beautiful thing that people who are older are still sexually active. But clearly today, people are fucking too much in their late 60s to 70s. I mean, I'm glad you're doing it, but it's in our face. God. And of course they have the yappy dog. They have some sort of tiny little teacup Yorkie who they don't walk, who should go to a doggy daycare during the day, but instead it's just shitting in the laundry room. Just, they don't even take them on a car ride. A dog that small, you can throw in a Michael Kors purse and take it to a Ross for less and have a fucking day. But instead, they're too busy having sex to take the dog on a walk. My God. I'm angry for you. I don't know what to do. I don't even know how to solve this problem. I'm angry. Absolute perverts. God. What did your husband say about this? Like, are you like, hey, Steve, come here real quick. I need your help breastfeeding. And you're just like, look at this. Look at this. It's disgusting. There is nothing more fun than being with your spouse or your boyfriend or whomever, and you're at like an awkward family thing, and you get to like have those inside jokes where you're laughing at like the decorations or something somebody's crazy aunt said, and you're like, hey, can you meet me outside? Hey, can you help me take this thing out of the oven? You're just like, everyone here is fucking crazy. That's the only way as a couple you get through these like forced family events. It's just being like, everyone's fucking nuts. You have these like 15-second bursts of like secret telling. But I would absolutely be like, look at this. Look at this. No wonder your mom's being a fucking nice bitch today. It's because she just got railed. I mean, who doesn't clean up the crime scene? My God. You know what it is? It's some sort of power move. It's an absolute power move on the mother-in-law to be like, this is my house and we fuck. It's 100% a power move. That is what it is. That is what it is. You know what? I got a great idea. This is what you're going to do. Beat them at their own game. Next time they come over for Thanksgiving, dildos everywhere. Just everywhere. On the hall mirror, the ones that stick, you know what I mean? Have one by, instead of like a bottle cleaner, they have those brushes that like stick to the counter, dildos. And if they say something like, "Oh my God," be like, "Oh no, it's a great bottle cleaner." And just wash your baby bottles out. Just do it just for the sake of that. Just mess with them. Beat them at their own game. I just make them so uncomfortable that they never want to come over again. Very subtly, though. You know what I mean? And when I say subtle, I mean dildos everywhere. But let them know. Let them know. It's a power move. That's clearly what's happening. And there kind of is nothing worse than when you get invited to somebody's place for a holiday and they're in like a 2-bedroom condo. You're like, we couldn't do this down the street at a 5-bed, 4-bath. You know what I mean? It's always the people with the smallest places like, let's host the party. You're like, come on now. Come on. God, I'm frustrated for you. You know what? Next time, just breastfeed on the lawn and let the neighbors know what's good. I apologize about that. I really do. Let's get to the next voicemail.
Hi, Heather. This is Alex calling from New York. I have an absolutely not for you, and we'll try to be as succinct as possible. But basically, the gist is that my fiance's business partner's new wife keeps texting my fiance. The day after the business partner's wedding, she texted my fiance saying that she was so overwhelmed and stressed and she couldn't talk to her new husband about it. And my fiance tried to be supportive while also saying he's not the person for her to talk to. Long story short, these types of messages continue to happen multiple times a week. And most recently, she sent him a picture of her lips full of filler last night at 8 p.m., which made him extremely uncomfortable and which I have found hilarious, but also very weird. So I would love your thoughts on this, and if you think I should say something to her or just keep ignoring it because it is so freaking strange. Love and light.
Interesting that this voicemail came through as we just found out that one of our tiramisu bitch sisters, has found out that her dad got remarried via the health insurance patient portal. This woman's absolutely coming for your husband. That's bizarre. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I will text my friends' husbands, but it is literally like once in a blue moon asking a specific question. And I've known these people for like 30 fucking years. And I have said this, and any of my friends who are listening, I do not want to have sex with your husbands. Not at all. Not even remotely, not even close. Maybe some of your dads, but that's it. Okay? All right? I'm not trying to have sex with your husbands. But the lip filler photo, this woman's out of her mind. And you're in a tough spot because it's your husband's business partner. So we got to figure it out. Now, here's the good thing. Your husband's sharing all this information with you. So he's not hiding anything. He's just as creeped out about it as you are. I think maybe he's got to say something. Okay, he can't say something. Do you say something to the other husband? Being like, hey, what's Michelle's deal? She keeps texting my husband about, no, we got to be strategic about this. Okay. We got to be strategic. Okay. I got to think on this one. I need a beat. And you don't want to come in too hot because she's going to play innocent. No, this is what he does. This is exactly what he does. Great. I got it. Okay. Your husband's going to put you guys in a group text, just you and her and him. He's going to, in the original conversation, he's then going to add you and say, hey, my wife's here. She got lip fillers before and had a reaction too. Hey, honey, can you chime in here? That's exactly what he does. That way she knows that you know. She knows that now we're chit-chatting and he's going to play dumb. Like he's like, oh, you really, she's trying to show her DSLs. She's trying to show her big puffy lips to your hubs to be like, meet me out back outside the office. But really, he's going to say, hey, I'm medically concerned about this. My wife had the same thing. Listen, whether you've had lip filler or not, you're going to play like you've had lip filler. That's what he does. He's going to say, hey, I was telling my wife about this. I've CC'd her on here. Honey, didn't this happen to you? And then you chime in, hey, girlfriend, lips look swollen. Take 2 ibuprofen. Which doctor did you see? Because I went to such and such, and he's a nut job. That's how you play it. That's how you play it. And if she ever sidebar texts him again, he's to ignore it. He should only respond in the group chat. Because, we all have sidebar conversations with our friends, and then we have the group chats. And 9 times out of the 10, I'm already going to the group chat anyways because I forgot about the sidebar. Like, I got 65 fucking chats open. He adds you to the chat, and he acts very concerned. He's got to play this like he is worried sick for her life. Hey, so concerned. Should you go to the hospital? CC'd my wife here. Worried about you. Let us know. What did your husband say? You need to just keep saying, what did your husband say? Pinging that back to her like, yeah, reminding this bitch she's got one. Audacity of some people. I want to say it's the guy's fault, but right now, you clearly got the health insurance swindler. We've had the mother-in-law who's flexing her sex life. And who else have we had call in? Other sluts. The woman who sabotaged our friend Lee by super soaking her in the face with fucking sake. I know we all want to have a brat summer, but this is turning into a bitchy summer. And you know what I don't have time for this summer? Bitches. I have time for you to be a little flirty and a little bratty, but that's at a safe distance. A brat never hurts anybody around you. It's like the difference between a scammer and a con artist. A scammer brings life to the party. A con artist takes away. A bitch takes away from a family. A brat brings the cigarettes. And that's how that works. You know why? The only reason why your business partner's wife should be texting your husband is because they're throwing a surprise party for you? Or because she wants to let your husband know, I told Mark to give you a bonus or something. I don't know. But the way your husband does it is he puts you all in a group chat and he acts actually medically concerned. Like the flirting goes right over his head. God, you know what? Women, y'all are getting feral. Y'all are getting crazy. You need to stay in your own lanes. Here I am trying to find the fault with the guys, but I think we're getting a little out of control. Everybody lock it the fuck up. Because you know where I don't want to see everybody? Come August 1st in divorce court. We got to get this shit together. Speaking of divorce court, I'm so excited to be going to Italy for 2 weeks. It's going to be fun. We're going to be driving all over the country. Stay tuned to the Instagrams and the TikToks. I will be bringing you all sorts of content. Jeff said he's not going to bring his golf clubs. I don't know if I believe that. Listen, I'm out here trying to solve the world's problems, but 90% of this is just unhinged. So never take my advice for anything legally, medically, and or, just in general. Just take everything I say with a grain of salt. And remember, you can't get caught if you're slutty about it. No, you can't. Don't be a slut. Be a brat. Don't be a snob or a bitch. But you can be a cunt or a brat. Okay, I don't know. None of this makes sense. All right, I love you. I mean it. I'll see you on the next episode. Arrivederci. Ciao, Bella.